Ever watched a person and wondered if what you're seeing is even real? In the circus, some performers are so unusual, so strange, that it's hard to believe they exist outside of fiction. Their talents, appearances, and acts push the boundaries of what we think is possible, leaving audiences shocked and amazed. Well, in this video, we're exploring 15 strange circus performers you won't believe are real. So, be with us because they are going to prove that sometimes reality is far stranger than anything imagined. Number 15. Adolf Venzel. Adolf Venzel's presence in the circus was impossible to ignore. Thick, dark hair blanketed his body from childhood, giving him a wolf-like appearance that both fascinated and unsettled spectators. European sideshows became his stage, where he intertwined physical strength with uncanny poise, lifting weights and balancing objects while moving with deliberate precision. Offstage, he maintained an unusual daily routine, meticulously grooming his hair and practicing controlled movements to prevent strain. Promoters often highlighted his feats of endurance alongside his unusual physique, crafting narratives that drew crowds from distant towns. His combination of brute force and disciplined presentation set him apart from other hair-covered performers, blending spectacle with skill. Observers noted his calm temperament behind the curtain, a stark contrast to the awe he inspired under the spotlight, and whispered about how Venzel's rigorous preparation turned curiosity into an artful performance. Number 14. Henrietta Recker. Her skeletal proportions required specially crafted platforms, handrails, and props, each tailored to allow spins, leaps, and bends that amazed audiences. Offstage, she studied choreography with an almost mathematical attention, memorizing every pivot and landing. Circus managers marveled at how she adapted existing routines to her physique, creating variations other performers couldn't attempt. Beyond acrobatics, her gestures carried a theatrical flair, tilting a head, extending a limb, that transformed simple movement into storytelling. Even rival performers acknowledged the grace she brought to the tent, where her presence combined meticulous preparation with the effortless illusion of freedom. In quieter moments, she practiced balancing techniques and small jumps in her dressing area, refining movements that seemed effortless under stage lights, but were products of relentless focus. Number 13. Violet Hilton. Violet Hilton carved a stage presence all her own, distinct from the shadow of her more famous cousins, the Hilton twins. Born with an extraordinary ability to synchronize movement and music, she transformed vaudeville theaters into arenas of precise acrobatics and playful musicality. Audiences would often notice how her timing seemed instinctual, hands and feet executing flips, twirls, and gestures in perfect harmony with melodies she played on piano or percussion instruments. Unlike many performers tied to family acts, Violet designed her own sequences, experimenting with unconventional rhythms and daring physical transitions that demanded both strength and acute spatial awareness. Backstage, she spent hours rehearsing minor gestures and subtle adjustments, knowing that each nuanced movement amplified her individuality. Her costume choices, bright, tailored, and flexible, allowed her to merge elegance with agility. Promoters capitalized on her charm, but it was her combination of disciplined practice, intuitive coordination, and inventive flair that ensured she stood out. Number 12. Meline Marcel. A whisper ran through the tent before Meline Marcel even stepped into view. Some claimed she moved like a shadow caught in sunlight. On a stage barely wide enough to accommodate her slender frame, she twisted, lunged, and balanced in sequences that seemed to defy physics, yet obeyed a strict internal rhythm. Wooden platforms were scuffed and measured precisely to match her proportions, while mirrors backstage allowed her to refine gestures invisible to the audience, but essential to her flow. Fellow performers often remarked on her spatial intuition, how she avoided colliding with props or each other, turning narrow stages into open arenas of movement. Costumes clung lightly, accentuating lean lines without restricting motion. During intermissions, she practiced subtle shifts of weight and miniature adjustments to posture, the kind unnoticed by crowds, but crucial to executing each act safely. Number 11. Jonathan R. Bass. Jonathan R. Bass became known for an extreme rigidity in his joints, a condition that made his limbs appear unnaturally fixed. Exhibitions emphasized this stiffness, highlighting his remarkable muscular control and the unusual alignment of his skeleton, which allowed him to hold complex positions that most people could not achieve. Reports suggest he adapted daily routines to maintain flexibility in necessary areas while keeping the characteristic stiffness intact for performances. Observers noted that his endurance in static postures demonstrated both physical conditioning and a deep understanding of biomechanics. Bass's abilities were documented in sideshow pamphlets and early medical accounts, illustrating the fascination with bodies that deviated from conventional norms. Unlike other acts relying on external props or spectacle, Bass's performance depended entirely on the precision of his own body, making him a rare example of anatomical display. Number 10. Henry Alexander. A faint murmur passed through medical observers when Henry Alexander demonstrated the full range of his hypermobile joints, bending limbs into positions that seemed impossible yet caused him no discomfort. Each movement was precise, a careful negotiation between flexibility and strength, allowing him to execute sequences that combined contortion, balance, and muscular endurance. Alexander developed specialized conditioning routines to maintain joint integrity, practicing slow, incremental stretches and controlled poses that honed both stability and range. Contemporary reports highlight his ability to transition fluidly from one extreme posture to another, a skill that transformed raw flexibility into a disciplined performance. Unlike many performers who relied on visual spectacle alone, Alexander's act relied entirely on the body's mechanics, muscles, tendons, and ligaments working in coordinated harmony. Observers documented subtle details, such as the alignment of his spine and the rotational capacity of individual joints, revealing insights into human biomechanics rarely seen in other exhibitions. Number 9. Elias Montigue. Elias Montigue exhibited a remarkable combination of muscular control and joint stability, allowing him to maintain static and contorted positions for extended periods. Detailed reports from sideshow pamphlets and contemporary observers note how he developed targeted isometric exercises to reinforce core and limb muscles, enabling precise alignment of his shoulders, spine, and hips. Each posture relied on micro-adjustments of tendons and ligaments, ensuring balance while minimizing strain. Montague's work demonstrated unusual endurance, as he could sustain extreme positions far longer than most individuals without specialized training. Researchers and anatomists studying human flexibility at the time documented his performances as examples of voluntary muscular control interacting with skeletal structure. Unlike performers who relied on external apparatus or theatrical embellishments, Montague's exhibitions depended entirely on intrinsic bodily mechanics, providing insights into how strength, posture, and skeletal awareness could be optimized. Number 8. Alphonse Delacroix. A rumor spread among performers that Alphonse Delacroix could manipulate each joint independently, as if his limbs were controlled by separate minds. Born with exceptionally long arms and legs, he transformed this anatomical peculiarity into precise, calculated motion, bending, stretching, and holding positions that tested both endurance and control. He developed specialized exercises focusing on isolated muscle groups, learning to distribute tension across elongated limbs to maintain stability during extended poses. Historical references note that Delacroix collaborated with costume makers, designing fitted garments that allowed full mobility while emphasizing his proportions. He often practiced alongside other contortionists, exchanging techniques for balance and leverage, which honed his ability to execute movements impossible for most bodies. Dequa's meticulous attention to skeletal alignment and muscular engagement turned his frame into a tool for experimentation, revealing subtleties of human biomechanics rarely observed. Now let's move on. Number 7. Emma Scholler. During a rehearsal in a dimly lit hall, Emma Scholler reportedly balanced a small wooden rod on her shoulder while executing a series of backward twists, her skeletal frame seeming to defy conventional anatomy. Each vertebra moved with a precision that allowed her to transition between extreme poses without visible strain, relying on subtle micro-adjustments in her core and hips. She developed routines that emphasized angular elegance, integrating tiny flicks of fingers, shoulders, and wrists to create fluid patterns across her elongated body. Designers created bespoke outfits with segmented panels that allowed full range of motion while accentuating the sharpness of her joints. Scholler occasionally practiced alongside strongmen and acrobats, experimenting with leverage and counterbalance to push the limits of her frame. Observers noted that her unusual proportions became a tool for experimentation rather than limitation, demonstrating how skeletal structure could be harnessed to execute intricate, highly controlled movements unseen in other performers of her era. Number 6. Daniel Manx. A note in a traveling sideshow ledger mentioned Daniel Manx resting his head against a wall while extending his legs at sharp angles for several minutes, a feat that left even seasoned performers unsettled. His endurance was not accidental. Manx trained with meticulous attention to muscle isolation, learning to engage specific groups to maintain extreme postures without fatigue. He mapped spatial relationships in rehearsal spaces, calculating leverage points and center of gravity for each position. Colleagues observed him performing micro-adjustments imperceptible to the untrained eye, tiny rotations of shoulders, shifts of hips, and controlled breathing that allowed prolonged holds. His act relied entirely on his own anatomy. No props or stage tricks were involved. Medical writers of the era examined his flexibility and skeletal alignment, noting the unusual capacity of his joints and muscles to sustain tension. Manx's approach provided a rare glimpse into human potential for prolonged static performance, highlighting precision over spectacle. Number 5. J.B. Bullitt. A visitor once claimed they saw J.B. Bullitt balance a stack of books on his knees while holding a twist that left his torso nearly parallel to the floor. Rather than relying on showmanship alone, Bullitt meticulously trained his limbs to respond independently, learning how tiny adjustments in hips, shoulders, and ankles could sustain unconventional positions. He experimented with subtle breathing techniques that stabilized his core, allowing him to extend poses for minutes at a time. Fellow performers occasionally joined him in practice, testing the limits of leverage and alignment in ways that revealed hidden potential in his unusual frame. Bullitt's attire was crafted with segmented panels to accommodate precise movement, highlighting the angles of his joints without restriction. Observers documented how he converted these anatomical traits into a disciplined system of movement, demonstrating a combination of ingenuity, endurance, and mechanical understanding rarely seen in sideshow exhibitions of the period. Number 4. Dolly Reagan. During a training session, Dolly Reagan reportedly used her elongated limbs to trace geometric patterns across a polished wooden floor, each movement calculated to maintain precise alignment without strain. Her skeletal structure, unusually angular, required her to develop specialized techniques for joint stability and muscle engagement, allowing her to hold extended positions while executing intricate gestures. She focused on isolating small muscle groups, coordinating subtle rotations of shoulders, elbows, and wrists to create controlled transitions between poses. Costume designers collaborated with her to craft garments that supported full articulation while emphasizing the linearity of her frame. Reagan also experimented with leverage and body counterbalance, adjusting shifts in weight with minute precision to maintain balance during extreme postures. Observers of her practice noted how she integrated these anatomical adaptations into a consistent system of movement, converting structural distinctiveness into deliberate performance. Number 3. Alligator Boy. Alligator Boy's body featured naturally textured, scaled skin and elongated limbs that allowed him to execute movements with precise, animal-like articulation. He trained to coordinate his arms, legs, and torso to maintain low, crouched positions while moving fluidly across platforms, demonstrating control over balance and weight distribution. Each gesture, from subtle finger flexes to measured shifts in shoulder alignment, was designed to maximize efficiency and stability, enabling transitions between poses without reliance on external supports. Props were incorporated only to complement his biomechanics, requiring exact timing and spatial awareness to interact seamlessly with objects. He developed muscle engagement techniques that emphasized core strength, joint flexibility, and tendon control, allowing his movements to appear fluid despite structural challenges. Limb extension, body angle adjustments, and posture precision were central to his act, highlighting how anatomical features could be optimized for performance. Alligator Boy's work represents a disciplined integration of skeletal structure, muscular control, and methodical movement. Number 2. Lalu Ramparad. Lalu Ramparad developed specialized strategies to manage his unique physiology, which included an extra-parasitic limb. He learned to adjust posture and redistribute weight for both standing and seated positions, ensuring stability while performing precise movements. His routines incorporated careful sequencing of steps and gestures that allowed him to either integrate or subtly conceal the additional limb depending on the act's requirements. Training emphasized muscle coordination, core strength, and flexibility, enabling him to maintain balance under varied physical demands. He also experimented with seating designs and platform placements that supported safe alignment, reducing strain on joints and supporting extended endurance. Coordination between limbs required conscious spatial awareness, with micro-adjustments of hips, shoulders, and extremities to achieve fluid execution. Ramparad's performances demonstrated how adaptive techniques, mechanical understanding, and disciplined conditioning could transform an anatomical anomaly into a controlled, functional capability. Number 1. Olga and Betty Scherer. During coordinated acrobatic exercises, Olga and Betty Scherer mastered the intricate mechanics of moving two bodies as one, despite being conjoined. Each twin developed individual strength and flexibility while maintaining constant awareness of shared skeletal and muscular structures. Their routines required precise synchronization of arms, legs, and torso, ensuring that movements, whether executing jumps, balancing, or performing musical sequences, did not disrupt alignment. They trained to adjust micro-movements, such as subtle shifts in hips or shoulders, to maintain equilibrium during dynamic transitions. Custom platforms and props were designed to accommodate shared weight distribution, allowing the twins to explore complex acrobatic positions safely. Emphasis on timing, rhythm, and spatial awareness enabled them to create performances that highlighted both unity and individual skill. By systematically analyzing how their bodies interacted, Olga and Betty turned a shared physiology into a framework for highly controlled, coordinated motion. Their approach exemplifies precise adaptation of anatomy to execute complex, physically demanding sequences with technical mastery. If these astonishing stories captured your attention, hit like to show your excitement, leave a comment to tell us which performance amazed you most, and share this with anyone who thrives on the unusual. Subscribing ensures you won't miss the next batch of incredible tales, keeping the fascination alive with every post. We're genuinely thankful for your time and curiosity. It's your engagement that transforms these accounts into a shared experience. Every click, message, and share strengthens this community of enthusiasts, and we can't wait to bring you more content that surprises, informs, and inspires. Thanks for watching and staying with us.